Here is my recap of Dexter Season 4, Episode 5, entitled Dirty Harry. A lot of different storylines happen in this episode, but what we're going to focus on are four big ones. The one we end up with in the previous episode was Deborah being shot there along with Lundy. We find out at the beginning of this episode that Lundy did in fact get killed, and Deborah is on the way to the hospital. Dexter shows up to the crime scene. Everyone's already there. The paramedics are there. The Miami Police Department is there. He has an altercation almost with one of the police officers when Batista comes over and says, no, he's allowed to come in. So he goes in and sees that Deborah is being transported to the hospital, and she basically has a wound that was through and through. She's going to be okay. While she's in the hospital, she actually has a moment there with Antone and basically admits, I slept with Lundy. I'm not happy anymore. I'll move out. He tells her, no, that's not necessary. You were with me when I went through my issues. I'm going to stay with you. And she said, I'm not going to do that. So she ends up going after she's at the hospital and she goes to recuperate. She stays with Dexter and Rita at their house. We also find out that Rita does discover that Dexter has been keeping his old apartment. Now, what Dexter does in this episode is when Lundy is killed, he knows that Lundy was going after the Trinity killer, and his dad, his dark passenger, tells him, you need to finish this. If anybody needs to be killed, it's this guy. He goes after one of our own. He, hurts your sister. This is a guy that needs to be taken off the streets. So before the police can get to Lundy's apartment where he was staying, he gets all of the materials in regards to the Trinity killer, takes him back to his apartment where he's not staying anymore, and starts to try and put two together. He does figure out that the Trinity killer does have one more crime. He knows the building where it's going to happen, but it's a big building with a lot of different places in it. Several times he goes to stake this place out, and he knows what day it is actually going to happen, and the day he tries to go there, and he knows is going to be the day that the Trinity killer is going to commit the crime, he gets sidetracked on the way there by his sister Deborah, who calls him over to the crime scene where Lundy was killed, and she has basically a nervous breakdown. It's at that stage where we find out that there was a burst pipe at Dexter's apartment, and that's how his wife Rita finds out that he's been keeping the apartment. She actually goes there at one point during the episode, tells him, I don't know who you are. I thought, all these things went through my head, that you're using drugs again, that you're cheating on me. You have a chest here. I want you to open it. I want to see what's inside. It's empty. And in his internal monologue, he's like, at least she doesn't know that there are, my kill weapons underneath the fake floor of that chest. So she ends up telling him he should sleep there that night. He goes to try and get the Trinity killer. And when he's there, he sees, before when he was taking out, he saw a security guard. There were pictures of him having two kids. So he goes there thinking the security guard's going to be killed, not knowing where the Trinity killer is inside this building, but he knows he's there somewhere. He's desperately trying to look for him, tries to get to the, where they show basically where all the screens are so he can monitor the building. He wants, the security system. He wants to find out where the Trinity killer is. Discovers that it's actually not the security guard that this guy is after, so he desperately needs to get to that communications room, and he does, that security room, and he sees the Trinity killer there on screen, sees what he looks like, sees that he's there in the building, follows him out, sees his vehicle, is able to get to his vehicle and follow the Trinity killer home, and come to find out the Trinity killer has a family just like Dexter does. He's just a normal guy. He's got some kids, a wife, acts like a normal person, and Dexter couldn't believe that they are the same. They did solve the vacation murders in this episode. The two people, one of the two people that were involved is found shot by the other one. They find the girl in a alleyway, kind of, you could tell she's on drugs, she's out of her mind. That's when Quinn tases her and takes her down, and that's all done. So there was a little bit of movement forward with a few things. We find out that Dexter definitely has trust issues with his wife now. He's got this apartment. Deborah's looking for a place to stay. Makes sense that maybe she takes over Dexter's apartment. We'll find out what they're going to do with that coming up. But Dexter has some stuff he's got to do because he's got to take this Trinity killer down. There's 7 more episodes in this season, and it seems like it is just getting started. If you like these reviews, please hit the like button on this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Every little bit helps the channel. I would like to continue to grow, and I can do that with your help. And please share these videos. If you know anybody who is a fan of Dexter and they don't have the time to go through all the seasons, I will be recapping every single episode from now until I've gone through the entire series leading up to Season 9, which will be airing this fall on Showtime.